Hi everyone, this is May Park. Welcome to another video tutorial in my blog and YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create your own background and focal point in your card using the Moonflower Cool Vibe stem set from Spellbinders. Then I'll be sharing some coloring tutorial using ZIG Clean Color Real brush pens. This video features a few card making techniques such as background stamping, masking, coloring, die cutting, and hidden embossing. This video is part of Spellbinders' November release blog hub celebrating a release of new stamps and dies. Make sure to check out my blog for more details and leave a comment on my blog hub post for a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Spellbinders online store. Here are some new products from Spellbinders' November release. Each cling stamp set has coordinating dies, and I really love their elegant and delicate images. I already tested out my stamps before I start filming the video. Inspired by my amazing friend Yana's Macula's card, I really wanted to create a card by gold hidden embossing the images and coloring them with colored pencils. But it didn't turn out as I expected, so I had to come up with a new card design. By the way, this is the card my husband made while I was playing with my new stamps. I just love how he colored the flower with Prisma-colored pencils. I'm cutting down my cardstock into 4¼ inch by 5½ inches out of Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock using Timur's paper trimmer. I have to say this trimmer is one of my favorite paper crafting tools. It cuts paper like butter. I'm pulling up my stamps from the Moonflower Cool Vibe stamp set. I'll be using all 2 new acrylic blocks to stick my cling stamps for stamping. I'm going to ink my Moonflower stamp with Simon Says Stamp Smoke ink, making sure I'm getting good ink coverage. Then I'll be stamping the image on the bottom left corner of my panel. I'm applying smoke ink again to my flower stamp and stamp it on the top right side of my panel. Next, I'll be stamping the single rose image twice. It doesn't matter which image you stamp first, but I want to place a couple of large images in the foreground while I'm stamping the entire background using the masking technique. I'm stamping the same image one more time on a post-it note to create a mask. I'm going to cut out the image on the post-it note with my scissors. You can cut right on the line or even slightly inside of the line. I'm cutting several post-it notes at once to save time. You can also use ink card masking paper if you want to. In my case, I prefer to use a post-it note along with removable glue tape to hold the mask in place. I'm going to layer my masks of the stamped images on my panel, covering the images completely. Then I'm going to stamp the images over my mask, positioning the images partially onto the mask. Once I have finished stamping over the images, I'm going to remove the masks, place them over the next foreground images, and continue to stamp. Masking technique is a great way to create the illusion of depth, as the image you stamp first is in the foreground and the second image is partially behind the first image. I'm going to continue stamping and masking until I finish creating my entire background. So here comes the most fun part of the masking. I'm going to remove all of the mask to reveal my stamped background. Masking takes time, but once you remove all the masks, you can see the beauty of masking technique. I create another background panel using the same stamps, but this time I used Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink instead. I really love both backgrounds, but I ended up using the gray background panel for my final card. Here I have my ZIG Clean Color 36 real brush pens, and I store them in a plastic container. These pens can be used with water as watercolors. In this video, I won't use water. Instead, I will color the images using ZIG Clean Color Real brush pens, just like copy markers. I stamped the Moonflower image on a piece of Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock with the Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. I'm going to pick my lightest color, which is pink, and fill the entire rose image from edge to edge. Then I'm taking my darkest color, which is 2 shades darker than my first color in the same color family, and adding the darker color toward the bottom of each petal. Then I'm going to apply medium color on top of my lighter color and pull out the darker color to blend in the areas. You can always go back and add darker or lighter shades if you want to. By the way, I'm moving my brush pen in small circles to get an even and blended look. Make sure to limit how much you color over dark areas to avoid overblending. You can transfer darker color onto your light brush pen by touching the tips of the 2 brush pens together for a few seconds. The beginning of the stroke will be darker and will fade as the stroke continues. Now I'm going to turn on some music and speed up the coloring process so you can enjoy watching me color. I'll be back soon. Once my coloring is done, I'm going to place the coordinating die and secure it on my paper using washi tape. Then I'll be running it through my Spellbinders Platinum die cut machine. I decide to add some white dots on my leaves using a white gel pen to give some interest. I'm going to mount my stamped panel onto A2 size top folding white card base with alternate glue tape. Now it's time to work on my sentiment, and I'll be using alternate script words die and Happy Dreams stamp set. I'm die cutting hugs 5 times out of white cardstock. Then I'll be using my glue pen to stack my die cuts together. I'm prepping a piece of black cardstock with Inka embossing magic powder bag to prevent any stray powder from sticking to unwanted areas. I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the Happy Dreams stamp set with the Simon Says stamp embossing ink onto the paper. I'm going to apply some alternate pure white embossing powder and tap off the excess. I'm going to preheat my embossing tool for about 10 seconds until it reaches its maximum temperature. Then I heat set my sentiment until it's completely melted. I'm trimming my sentiment into a thin strip using a craft knife and ruler. Next, I'm going to mount my die cut image and the sentiment strip banner on the card front using 3M foam tape and clear foam pad to give some dimension. I'm using my T-square ruler to place my sentiment in straight. I ended up creating 2 cards with the same design but different color for the background and die cut word. Which one do you like? Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. That's all for today. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any new video from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time with another video. Bye bye!